people are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Angel Reese boldly claimed that she was the reason people were watching women's basketball. But when the Chicago Sky faced off at LSU, her old stomping grounds, you'd expect a hero's welcome. Instead, the numbers told a different story. That 13,000-seat arena, barely half full. Only 6,300 fans showed up. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark's preseason debut sold out in minutes. Let that sink in. We've got the photos Angel won't want you to see. Whole sections empty, even with tickets going for just $15. The hype didn't match the turnout. And the numbers? They don't lie.
So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of, other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlyn Clark in the WNBA.
Let's be real. This reality check might sting more than any block Angel Reese has ever delivered on the court. And it's not going away.
They didn't open the upper bowl. They did not open the upper bowl, and the lower bowl was half empty.
Those viral photos from Angel Reese's highly anticipated return to LSU? They're all over social media, and they paint a picture far different from the one she's been promoting. This was supposed to be a homecoming fit for a champion. A triumphant return for the player who helped bring a title to LSU and launched herself into national stardom. You'd think fans would be lining up to celebrate her, but that's not what happened.
The Chicago Sky go into LSU, the home court of Angel Reese. Man, it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit.
When game day rolled around, the scene inside the arena was shocking. That 13,000-seat venue, more than half of it sat empty. Just 6,300 fans were in attendance. That's over 6,700 empty seats. Completely unfilled, staring into the cameras. And it wasn't just scattered gaps. Massive sections were deserted. The entire upper bowl closed off. They didn't even bother opening it because there weren't enough fans to justify it. This was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it looked like a letdown.
In case you were wondering, I did do the math. How many seats were actually left last night? Over 6,800. In a 13,000 capacity arena, there was over 6,800 seats still available. And some people were saying, by the way, that literally there were some $15 tickets out there.
And here's the part that really stings. Tickets were only $15. That's cheaper than a fast food combo meal. For less than a burger and fries, fans could have watched a WNBA rookie who's been loudly claiming she's transforming the sport. And still, people didn't show up. Let's break down just how bad it was. They needed 6,167 fans just to hit half capacity. And they missed that mark by about 300 people. For someone who talks about being the face of women's basketball, that turnout wasn't just disappointing, it was downright embarrassing.
It was at under 50% capacity. And obviously, look, the area of the crowd where the TV cameras are being shown was full. But it was under 50% capacity. There's no one in the upper bowl, and it's half empty the other one, which is not ideal.
If you watched the broadcast closely, you probably noticed something strange. Those camera angles were tight, real tight, almost like they were trying to hide something. And they were. They didn't want viewers at home to see just how empty that arena really was. But social media wasn't so forgiving. Fans in the stands, or rather, the few who showed up, posted photos that told the real story. and it was brutal. Row after row of empty seats. You can't spin that. You can't hide that kind of silence.
Nobody showed up to this sucker. Nobody. Let me just blow this. Look at that. I noticed it right off the bat. Look, number one, look at all the purple seats down here in this lower bowl section. And then the entire top bowl, forget about it. Forget about it.
Now maybe you're thinking, okay, so the crowd was small. What's the big deal? But here's why this moment hits so hard. Angel Reese has spent months telling everyone how she is the one bringing eyes to women's basketball. She's been loud, proud, and relentless about her supposed impact on the game. But these empty seats, they're the receipts. They don't match her message. They say something completely different. Because when the spotlight was on her, the fans didn't show up.
There wasn't anybody there. It wasn't even half full.
Let's be clear. The official attendance at Angel Reese's big LSU return wasn't just disappointing. It was downright embarrassing. Just 6,300 people in a venue that can hold 13,000. That's not even half full. And you could feel it. Compared to her college glory days, the energy was flat. The excitement was gone. The arena felt quiet, lifeless, even awkward. And sure, the broadcast team tried their best to keep the focus tight. But even then, you could feel the emptiness. You could see it.
Right here, this was last night's attendance. 6,373 fans showed up to watch Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith. And by the way, she did get a very good pop.
And the worst part? This wasn't just another game. This was her homecoming. This was supposed to be a celebration. Angel Reese returning to the place where she won a national title, where her rise to stardom began. If there's any place in the world where the support should have been massive, it's right there in Baton Rouge. But if that crowd didn't show up for her, who will? If the fans who once chanted her name couldn't be bothered to fill the arena for her return, then what does that really say about her star power? The images don't lie. The videos don't lie. The silence doesn't lie. This was supposed to be a moment of glory. Instead, it was a wake-up call.
Look at all those empty seats, folks. That is crazy as hell. I mean, empty, all that. Never mind all this. They could have put black tarps over it. Look at that. Look at that. Look, the WNBA still got problems. They got problems over and beyond one player. I don't know what they do about it.
And while Angel Reese was staring down rows of empty seats at her so-called triumphant return, something very different was happening somewhere else. Because the other rookie everyone's talking about, Caitlyn Clark, her story couldn't be more opposite. The fan response she's getting? It's not just strong, it's explosive. It's the kind of hype most players dream about. When you compare these two, the difference is like night and day.
I'm making this video because at the end of the day, we're still seeing like all of this like stuff online about, oh, you know, there's so many needle movers, like Caitlyn Clark is not the needle.
Caitlyn Clark's preseason debut with the Indiana Fever wasn't just well attended, it was a full-blown spectacle. That arena didn't just have a few fans trickling in. It was sold out. Every single seat packed with people who couldn't wait to see her step on the court. Wall-to-wall energy. No empty rows, no quiet corners, just pure hype. Now stack that next to Angel Reese's homecoming game, where more than half the seats sat untouched. One rookie can't draw a crowd in the very arena she made history in. The other, she's selling out wherever she goes. The contrast isn't just noticeable, it's devastatingly obvious.
We can finally stop. I think we can finally stop the arguments. We can stop the whole there's more than one needle mover as far as attendance goes as an individual. I do think there are teams that people show up to watch. Like, I think the Aces do a pretty decent job. I think the Liberty, in fairness to them, do a pretty decent job. But when we're talking about individuals, there's only one that people are going to go out and watch. And it's not Hailey Van Lith, and it's most definitely not Angel Reese.
And if you think that was impressive, wait till you hear this. When tickets went on sale for Clark's preseason game at Carver Hawkeye Arena, they didn't last days or even hours. They were gone in just 27 minutes. That's less than half an hour before every single ticket was snatched up. Fans weren't just interested. They were scrambling to lock in a seat. That kind of demand? That's not hype. That's history in the making.
Not even 50% sold out is crazy. Carver Hawkeye sold out 15,000 in 27 minutes.
Want to know how deep the obsession runs? Fans are dropping hundreds, even thousands, on resale tickets just to see Caitlyn Clark play. In preseason games, these aren't championship matchups. They're not even games that count in the standings. But people are shelling out major money just to say, I saw her play live. Now compare that to Angel Reese, whose homecoming tickets were priced at just $15. That's less than a large popcorn at the movies. And people still weren't buying. One star's games are treated like front row concerts. The other, discounted and still empty.
I mean, when they would sell out, it was because the Indiana Fever came to town.
The excitement around Caitlyn Clark has gotten so wild, the Indiana Fever had to switch venues. Their usual arena just couldn't contain the fan frenzy. So what did they do? They started moving games to bigger buildings, more seats, more space, just to meet demand. That's not normal. That's superstar stuff. When a franchise has to upsize just to fit your fan base, that's when you know you're a generational talent.
The needle is Caitlyn Clark, and you can add realistically whatever you want. You can add Hailey Van Lith, who's a huge name. Like, say what you want about Hailey Van Lith, she is an absolutely massive name as far as the WNBA is concerned. So you can add her to the Chicago Sky, and it's still, and her going back to LSU, albeit like Hailey Van Lith played 1 year at LSU and she was terrible. And it's going to be empty. It is going to be literally empty.
This jaw-dropping gap in fan interest leaves us with one very real, very uncomfortable question. Who's really moving? The needle in women's basketball? Because when you look at the numbers, it's not close. The ticket sales, the arena capacity, the social media buzz, it all points to Caitlyn Clark. She's not just drawing crowds, she's rewriting the rule book. Meanwhile, Angel Reese can't even get her hometown to show up. And that's not opinion. That's cold, hard fact.
Continue to say, look, Angel has got a career as a content creator, as an influencer, Instaface.
And let's shut down the college loyalty excuse before it even starts. Caitlyn Clark isn't just packing arenas in Iowa. She's selling out WNBA venues in cities she's never stepped foot in before. These aren't just leftover Hawkeye fans. These are basketball fans, period. Meanwhile, Angel Reese couldn't even draw a full house in her championship-winning home arena. The facts are all right there. Ticket numbers, arena attendance, the energy in the building. One rookie is elevating the sport in real time. The other is learning the hard way that Instagram followers don't equal butts in seats. That's the harsh reality, whether she wants to face it or not.
Oh, people watch for Me Too argument is age bad, and that's an argument that I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes not entirely false, but like there are levels. There are levels.
Let's rewind for a second. Remember when Angel Reese went viral last season for claiming she was one of the main reasons people were watching women's basketball? She didn't imply it. She said it flat out. Her exact words, "The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too." That was Angel staking her claim, telling the world she belonged. In the spotlight right alongside the sport's biggest names. No misquotes, no confusion, just her words, loud and clear.
Angel Reese fans are not basketball fans, and they are proving it. They proved it last night without a shadow of a doubt.
But now, the cold, hard numbers are saying something very different. The attendance at her LSU homecoming game isn't just disappointing, it's a direct contradiction to her bold statements. Her own arena, half empty. The receipts don't lie, and right now, they're not backing up anything she said about being the face of the sport.
Angel decided to come out, and she said, I'm going to play the victim. Or, well, the victim, yeah, and the villain. People are watching for me too. No, they're not. No.
Ask yourself this. If Angel Reese really had the star power she claims, why couldn't she even fill half the seats in a place that adored her just a year ago? This wasn't just another road game. This was supposed to be her moment. A triumphant return to the court where she became a legend. And yet, more than half. The arena stayed empty. It wasn't just a weak turnout, it was a wake-up call.
Interesting. So everybody is watching for Angel 2. This arena has a capacity of 13,215 fans. In case you're wondering, in order to get that place half full, you need 6,607 fans to show up.
And here's the strangest part. Angel Reese has millions of followers online. People love her posts, her style, her interviews. But when it comes time to actually watch her play, they vanish. Her fans are scrolling, not showing up. They'll double-tap a photo, but they won't drive across town to support her live. That's the brutal truth. Popularity on social media doesn't always translate to real-world support.
So the narrative about people are watching for me too, people are showing up for me too, that narrative is, that's don't let anybody try to blow smoke up your ass.
The numbers tell a totally different story than the one Angel Reese keeps trying to sell. Just 6,300 people showed up for her so-called homecoming game. That's the kind of crowd you'd expect at an average college match. Not a pro debut for someone claiming to elevate the entire sport. If Angel is really bringing in waves of new fans like she says, where were they? Why didn't they show up? This massive gap between her words and the turnout raises a tough question. Is Angel Reese actually a basketball star or just a social media celebrity playing ball? Because right now, it's looking like people are more into her online antics than anything she's doing on the court.
People are furious about that, and they only moved the Fever games today. But I have to say, like, this is to be expected.
That bold statement Angel made about being the reason people are tuning into women's basketball, it just got wrecked by the brutal truth of those attendance numbers. The silence in that half-empty arena said more than 1,000 Instagram captions ever could. You can post all day, but you can't fake a packed crowd. And Angel's turnout was anything but.
It was empty. There were 6,000 people there. And the arena holds 14,000. Like, it got less viewers than most LSU home games. Like, less people watched that than most LSU home games. And it was the homecoming game of arguably the best player for the Chicago Sky.
It's beginning to feel like Angel Reese is less of a basketball phenomenon and more of a content creator in a jersey. She's got the followers, the endorsement deals, the viral moments. But what she doesn't have is the ability to draw real crowds to the games. You can trend online, but that doesn't mean people will pay to see you play. And that's exactly what we're seeing here
It genuinely does seem like a lot of the Angel fans are fans of Angel as a celebrity rather than like they're not even watching the games. Whatever about putting their money where their mouth is and going to the games, they're not even watching the games. Fans are traveling from all over the world to watch the Fever, and it just sums it all up. It does just sum it all up. Like, there should be no comparison in impact with anyone not named Caitlyn Clark, because we saw in Notre Dame that Arike going back and Paige playing, and it was, I think, the second least attended Notre Dame game in Notre Dame for women's basketball all year. So the Notre Dame team obviously gets more people.
Reality is catching up fast. All those bold claims about transforming women's basketball are starting to sound empty now that she couldn't even fill her home court. LSU was supposed to be her kingdom, where the fans knew her best, loved her most. But those empty rows, they hit harder than any defender ever could. And no tweet, reel, or filter can cover that up.
I expected them to not sell out, but half, honestly, I thought, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I thought they'd put 9 or 10,000 in. I didn't think they'd sell out, but I thought they put 9 or 10,000. This underperformed my already under targeted evaluation of the situation. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Just scroll through those photos from the LSU game. Empty seats as far as the eye can see. No hype, no crowd, just a half-filled arena in what was supposed to be Angel Reese's moment of triumph. Compare that to Caitlyn Clark, who's turning every arena into a madhouse of sold-out seats and sky-high ticket prices. Angel had $15 tickets and still couldn't pack the place. Caitlyn has people dropping hundreds just for preseason games. The difference couldn't be more obvious. One of them is changing the sport. The other? Well, her followers may be real, but the fandom clearly isn't.